Hey, what's going on guys, Khraze here, welcome back to some more Cyberpunk 2077, and today the patch day has finally arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, patch 1.1 is currently available for all of the platforms, on the PC, the consoles and the Stadia, bringing in of course a bunch of really interesting performance improvements, stability and other optimizations, including for the old gen of consoles. So let's jump right into it with all of the details, and of course, if you enjoyed this video at any point, it would be awesome if you left a like on it. But by the way, this update is available right now and you can go ahead and download it. As a matter of fact, for me it's downloaded in the background, so I'm not really sure how big the file size is going to be. But in this update we focused on various stability improvements, which you can find outlined in the patch notes that we will go over in just a little bit. We will continue this work in patch 1.2 and other upcoming updates. At the same time, we will keep fixing the bugs you encounter and listening to your feedback on how to improve the overall game experience. So here's some really interesting stability and other various improvements to that. So memory usage has been improved in various systems within the game, including of course character interactions, navigations, in-game videos like news, TV, etc., foliage, laser effects, minimap, device, AI has also been a part of this, street traffic, environmental damage system, GPU related and more. And this actually sounds like some really interesting news. Various crash fixes related to, among others, loading saves, game opening / closing and point of no returns are also listed right here. Now there's of course a list of changes and fixes relating to quests and other open world activities. If you want to go over there and check them out all, I'm going to leave the link down below. But there's further fixes over there for some of the Delamain missions, for example, including of course not being able to pick up the part of it called epistrophe, and also not getting the call before this mission. So this is also one that has been fixed. Also another one with the objective that would get stuck on answer the call from Mr. Hands in Map Tonpelan, if I pronounce that correctly. It's basically one of the first missions you do for the Voodoo Boys, so this has also been fixed. They've also fixed an issue where Judy could teleport underground in the Pyramid Song side mission, so that's one of them too. Fixed an issue where it would be impossible to talk to Zen Master in Poem of the Atoms. Furthermore, they've also fixed an issue where Takemura wouldn't call you in Down on the Street mission, if you were wondering about that. And there's also finally a fix for Jackie completely disappearing during the pickup mission, if you ever encountered that in the first place. There's a few over there in as well, but they also went over a few more relating to the open world. So they retro fixed the saves affected by a rare issue where speaking to Judy in the Automatic Love main mission would be impossible due to an invisible wall. The underlying issue is under investigation, so if you've still encountered this, maybe make a ticket, but I think that from this we can extract that it has been addressed. They've also fixed an issue that prevented players from collecting the rewards in gig freedom of the press. So if you are already at that point, if you encountered this bug, then the quest will automatically complete for all of you who did not collect the reward previously, and the rewards will be provided automatically in your inventory. They've also fixed the Delamain mission where you would remain silent throughout the epistrophe mission if the player initially refused to help the AI, of course. So this was one of the fixes right here with the quests and the open world. Now there's some other fixes over here for the UI, the visuals and achievements, so it's a pretty long list. So let's begin with the UI. They've implemented a couple of fixes for that. So the first one is for the prompt when exiting Braindance completely missing in the first place, and another one removed an invalid item from the loot, and I'm not really sure which item is that. Apparently they removed an item from the loot pool. Whichever that is, let me know down below. I would be really interested to know all of that. On the visual side, they fixed an issue where a grenade trajectory could be displayed in photo mode, and they've also fixed a particle's hue appearing pink when viewed close up, and finally they fixed cars spawning incorrectly in reported crime. Welcome to Night City. I'm not really sure which one that was, but I'm glad that we're seeing all of these fixes. For the achievements, especially if you've been looking for the jungle achievement where you have to complete all of the assaults on the entire map, they did fix the issue where the one in Santo Domingo would fail to complete. So now this should now count towards the progress in the jungle achievement, and it should award you with its completion. Now, moving on to Miscellaneous, they've addressed the issue responsible for saves getting oversized. Keep in mind that this is something that they also addressed in update 1.06, so this isn't going to save your old save files that were affected by that bug. It's only going to work forward, but they trimmed the access size from already existing save files, so you should in theory see them much smaller when it comes to their size, which actually is some really good news over there. They've also fixed an issue where input could stop registering upon opening the weapon wheel and performing an action. This seems to actually happen quite often. It also happens when you try to change the camera on your car or your vehicle. It also happens when you try to do some other actions relating to that. So I'm not seeing these being listed. Just keep in mind that this might still be a bug, but at least the one where you use the weapon wheel has been addressed in this update. They've also fixed an issue where the continue button in the main menu could load an end game save if you ever had that happening to you. But with that being said and done, let's go over the changes for the old gen of consoles. Let's begin with the PlayStation specific ones, and yes, there are performance optimizations of crowds on PlayStation 4 Pro and the PlayStation 5, and also various crash fixes on the PlayStation 4. Hopefully this translates to the newer gen as well, since yeah, it's basically the same installation, and they didn't mention any other types of optimizations for this console, especially for the PlayStation 4, so still some time to go for that. Now for the Xbox, they have improved memory usage for character creation, mirrors, scanning, camera, remote control, menus including inventory and map on the Xbox One, One X and One S. So there you have it. Of course, it would have been nice if there were more, but they did mention that there's going to be more in the upcoming well, weeks or whenever the 1.2 is going to be. Now finally we have the PC specific ones and the Stadia. So for the PC, it's now possible to obtain achievements while Steam is in offline mode. Note that offline mode needs to be enabled before starting the game, so this change will not apply retroactively, which is kind of nice. You don't need an internet connection to actually get those achievements. They've also addressed the game's startup crashes related to loading cache on Nvidia graphics cards. Thank you so much. And finally, for the Stadia specific ones, we have a bunch of fixes, including concert audio should no longer be inaudible and never fade away, fixed corrupted textures on several melee weapons, and finally, tweaked default dead zone settings to be more responsive. Note the change will not affect settings unless they're set to default, so if you're doing that, go and set these to default to put them in effect. But this is it with update 1.1. Of course, if you saw my previous video from today, we did mention that this would be a performance and bug kind of fix, so this is the first one. Hopefully we're gonna see 1.2 in the not too distant future, and here's hoping for some DLC content along the way. But this is it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.